following program is sponsored in part by To a Woman's Heart. The thoughts and views expressed by the following production don't necessarily reflect those of the network or any sponsors. Rainbow Room Publishing Live, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breaking news. This is Little Hopalong and I've got something to say. The mad publisher Eddie Pierce calls a press conference. We go now to our on-the-scene reporter, April O'Neil. Thanks, Little Hopalong. Yes, this is April with your fix at 6 on Channel 6, live right outside of the Rainbow Room Publishing House. It sounds to us that the publisher is going to be speaking any second now. Oh, this sounds very exciting, April. Oh, yes, it is, Hopalong. It is. Oh, wait, it sounds like he's getting started right now. I gotta go. We live. Alice. Yeah, you know what? Make sure you check your inbox when we get done with this. Folks, just so you know, we had more bit information than what I planned to give out today. Scooping that nose smurf. Alice, my imaginary, customary servant wench, and invisible, is retiring. Yeah. And at the same time, I invite you all to congratulate the replacement, a rising star from our intern pool. I call him baby. You're going to call him Mark Woodard. In fact, don't even call him. 12 feet. O's. So, this whole business with this little nosy smurf, let's just get this cleared up right away. Like I learned from Olivia Pope, gotta get ahead of the story. And we don't need no fixing around here. First and foremost, don't nobody scoop the Rainbow Room Publish House. Nobody scoops us, okay? Please know that. So what really went down is that I asked all of the authors of the Homeland to some way, shape, form, or fashion document their first experiences, impressions, reactions to receiving their reviewer copy of the book. This was when we were actually still trying to make sure that everything on the inside is good. And so, we're doing a lot on top of everything we do for the book and getting ready to present it to you all with the release event. A few of them, basically, they posted the material publicly, and thankfully, divine order, they told me. So they just that diligent. And so I had the opportunity to say, oh no, girl, no, nobody's supposed to see that yet. You were supposed to post that in our private group. We have a private group for that. And so I was like, but don't delete anything. Give me 5 minutes. And so screen recording, screen shooting, and all kinds of other stuff that may be illegal somewhere in China. We basically took all of the content and deleted it. And to my knowledge, only 2 people out of all of you that will see this and will see anything else in the future saw some of that. And I told them, I said, hey, God is telling me there's gold to be mined here. We just won't release it yet. And so the plan always was that we would do a pre-sale, that we would give you roughly almost a month of a pre-sale period, which is basically October the 12th through November the 12th. And basically what it means is that, we're still perfecting some things, and honestly, the copies are pretty much set. But this is a period in time in which you can, in a sense, reserve your copy of the book. And anyone that is purchasing from Rainbow Room Publishing directly, which would be me, Eddie Saran Pierce Jr., all the names and all the things and all the hats. But basically, anybody that comes to me, those will be out shipped to you, and actually more than likely in hand before the actual release date, which is November the 12th of 2024. But as I mentioned on several occasions, with all of the volumes of the book, and if the great and powerful Oz is doing his thing correctly, you're seeing the website below me. and it's beautiful and it's colorful and just as vibrant as me in these red leather pants. But you will see that all of the books are up on the website, and that you can get, from a Black perspective, The Blood, which is the red book. And if you look at each website, specifically each page, you will learn the significance of each color when it comes to the Pan-African flag. So with the red, you will see the blood, which is the blood of the people of the African diaspora. I forget what the new term they're using now, because I hear that some of us highbrow folks, I'm in that group sometimes, don't like that word, but somebody tell me a better one. And while you at it, somebody teach me how I can do this with the rain cam or rain light and still wear these glasses, because I'm not doing LASIK no time soon. But at any rate, so you get your red, then you get your black, which is from a Black perspective, the people, which talks about the idea of the people themselves. Some people talk about the tone of our skin, but we know that that's metaphorical, because very few of us, if any of us, are Black. But capital B for Black people, lowercase b for all of the things, just talking purely about the pigmentation, the color. Black is a culture, not a color. And then, of course, green being the homeland, which is what is coming up now and available now for pre-sale. And, of course, that speaks to the idea of the homeland. And, you know, while I'm here, you know, it's a good time to say it, that I am just excited. Once again, each time a book is done, it's a magical experience. It's something that only exists up here in your head and somewhere in your heart. And when it becomes something you can hold, when it becomes something you can share, it's magic. It's magic each time. And for me, this is number 10. It does not get old. And so I'm really off the cuff right now, but you know, and even the idea, and my good sister Senior Haynes, she described it perfectly. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. The idea that this collection would turn into something that was so wonderful, but even just looking at the most simplest thing right now, because we'll talk in more detail later, trying to keep this shorter. I wanted this not just to be about each book being beautiful inside and out. I wanted something that we would describe as usable art, in the sense that is decorative, whether it's vertical, horizontal, on your table, on your bookshelf. You have that Pan-African flag. You have this image that you can always go back to. Whether you're a person that I describe in the series as melanin kissed or sun kissed, melanin endowed, from the African diaspora or not, it does something for me. It does something for me. Even as a child, before I really knew what all this was about, I'll never forget, going back to the Whitney Young days, I had a shirt that said something like, it's all about Black business or something. I can't remember. But the colors, I knew the significance of the colors. I didn't necessarily know the breakdown that I can give you, provided by the website that I link in my website, about the colors and you know, why they were chosen, but I knew the significance. And I feel that that's something that is also universal for so many people, not just of the African diaspora, you know, thinking about people who are identified as being descendants of the African continent or natives born to the African continent. The world sees these colors and it sends signals. And for me, and I think that ultimately, and yes, there are other flags and other variations, but it's this order, I can't think of the right word. Something to the effect of, when we write stories, we put symbols in the stories. We put things that mean things. For anybody that's really into the American canon of literature, you think about Citizen Kane or film and Rosebud, what that and that sled, you know, meant. Or it's us as African people from the African continent, who see this image. Oh my good brother Jacardo. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna make sure I drop the link to this website. best investment I made in my life. You see, I've used it several times for the show, but the king, unless I work some things out, he's going to be retired to a more personal space where I can get that inspiration every time I wake up. But every time we see that, or we see this Black Panther symbol or whatever, that signals something. Every time we see this fist raised, it signals something. Every time we say I can't breathe, it signals something. And so that's what I feel like the Pan-African, or what some refer to as the liberation flag represents. And so the idea that it could be weaved together, you know, this is God working, you know, through me, and me just following to the best of my ability. I just jokingly described it to my family not too long ago that I was like, man, is this what Noah felt like building the ark? In the sense that God has told me each piece. It started with one book, and he said, well, you want to work with all these people, you need 3. Now that you have 3, you need 3 primary colors. You have Senya, who has done this beautiful artwork, and you'll see that obviously in the collection Witness. And everything just fit. It was the ability to go back to things I wrote 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, almost 30, looking at my piece for the Homeland, and going back to family and friends who, you know, just, there was just any mention of the idea of them writing or being a creative professional, and being able to say, hey, I'm working on this project, and yeah, I can fill a book, but I want to do it together. I want the coalition building. I want to build bridges and not walls. I want to walk around these strongholds, however many times God says, how quiet I gotta be, how loud I gotta be, and watch those walls fall and go in, okay? Because I'm going in right now. But, you know, that's just a big nutshell, larger than a peacock, nutshell of what this project is, what this project means. And that's before I even get to the amazing people, and I will talk about them in more detail, but for right now, we'll talk about them in the collective that have contributed not just to this volume, but to every volume, to the readers, to the viewers when we do the streaming, and those of you that are still watching the reruns. When I think about the reviews that are popping up in different places, and people that are talking about it that we don't even know about, you know, yet, and the places this can go. You know, it's you know, my job is interesting. I wear a lot of hats. And particularly in this case, it's being the author, it's being the publisher, and I had to think about the business. And honestly, because of doing this, I have time to run the business and actually write. Without the authors of the blood, the authors of the people, the authors of the homeland, I probably wouldn't have been writing much of anything, even though I reached back in most cases and used something that was written before. There was still considerable time and just, let's just be honest, investment that I wouldn't have necessarily had in working on those pieces if not for doing this together. So I thank all of you infinitely, and I'm working on some really good things for you all. You know, it's just what we do at Rainbow Room Publishing, okay? In addition to the idea of, you know, we don't just sell a book, we sell an experience. We're coalition building. It's a slogan God gave me some time ago that I got to come back and revive and use it in some shape, form, or fashion. We are not building a brand, we are building an institution, okay? And, you know, this, similar to other projects, and the beautiful thing about this project, oh my God, it's so many. I'm trying to keep this brief. So this, you know, you just can't stop. Right? Our history, our heritage, our beat, our groove, our power, our enthusiasm, our art as a people. And please understand when I say as a people, and this is not pandering, we all came from Africa. Whether you want to look at Adam and Eve or Lucy off the African continent, we all came from Africa. But yes, I have to start in my house, and I have to talk to my people, the people that I recognize and identify with and operate with the most. And we have to get our house in order before we can go talking to other communities about coalition building or what changes we can make before we even get to the idea of this is what you're doing wrong. And God bless the whole Middle East situation. All I would say about that is Bernie was right. He told us years ago, do not go in there, let them settle that themselves. Whole nother conversation. But this coalition building, this Rainbow Room Publishing initially I thought was one dream. I thought it was, Eddie, you have a book and you have to get it out. You're not Beyonce, you're not Jay-Z, you're not Michelle Obama, and you know, Simon and Schuster and all the other names who are shrinking, by the way, and have been for over 20 years. I learned that even before I got started. You got to do your own thing, is what God said and what he taught me through my ancestors, the reasons I wear these cowboy hats, Mississippi Cowboys. You know, I thought it was just about that one book, and then as I got that process done, he said, okay, now you have a vehicle to help other people. And, you know, keeping this shorter, long story less long, as I like to say, because they all long with me. I'm a novelist, I can't be brief. You know, then, you know, he showed me, okay, now you have this vehicle, but this vehicle can do more than just literary work. And that's how we get to Rainbow Room Publishing Live, or RRP Live, and how we get to doing the streaming events, and how we get to doing the interviews for clients and beyond, and Kaleidoscope. I've been talking about that forever. I'll go into it in more detail later, but thinking about the timing of this and the recording of some other stuff, I'm doing a lot. There's 6 clones running around. Alice is still fired. Yeah, he's still fired. You know, this will come out, I think, after something else that I was working on, and some of you seen some information about the Dallas Renaissance Project. And basically, this goes to what I was kind of saying before. Circular storytelling, just roll with me. I'm rapping. I just couldn't end with the books. This idea of coalition building, this idea of bridge building, this idea of let's get arm in arm in the huddle on the football field, or if you want to go biblical, let's get under that same yoke and let's push. Okay, and when I say push, I mean push against the negativity. I mean press towards that thing that only you were made to do. That thing that is slowly but now so rapidly, very much like the priests of the tribe of Levi, that God gave them a gift. He instructed them how to use it. They didn't always do it right. None of us do. But to the best of their ability, and that gift provided for them. But at the same time, that gift served the whole. They were the priests. They were, in a lot of respects, the most significant tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. And so, in this sense, we even go to the talented 10th. You know, those of us that have that little bit of privilege, we spend a lot of time looking at how much more privilege people got, and we forget what privilege we have. I'm guilty of it. I forget the privilege I have because of him. And, you know, when I'm in my right mind, that's when all this comes out, because I don't wake up like this. Ultimately, just the idea that the books spread to the idea of the Dallas Renaissance Project, which we will describe in more detail at a later time. But if you're following all of my stuff, you're probably seeing a call that I made about that and how it's going to be duplicated in other cities. But I'm just super excited. And it was a great opportunity, thanks to a nosy Smurf, for me to set the record straight, to thank a few people, to give you all a little bit more information. And hey, the business dude in me is always like, you need some marketing. And they seem to like this mug. So here we are. But, you know, so thank you all for giving me this abundance of time to clear that matter up. And yeah. I still got some news first. But until then, love, peace, and blessings.
Told you I was coming back for you Smurfs. Don't you ever bring your Smurfity Smurf into my Smurfity Smurf house again. Who the Smurf you think I am? Punk Smurf Gargamel. My name is Eddie Pierce, and you will never break into my house again.